Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman and today you are tuned in for a kind of special occasion or getting your photos done makeup look. I've already prepped my face by washing it and then doing my skincare routine, so let's get into the tutorial. I'm going to start with priming my face, really priming my eyelids with the NARS Smudge Proof Tinted Eyeshadow Base, and I'm going to take that from the lash line all the way up to the brow. Now, I'm touching my skin very, very lightly. Basically not trying to move it, I'm just trying to move that silicone primer around so that my eyeshadows can stick and stay all day. This also acts like a corrector because it gets rid of any of those little veins that are peeking through underneath the skin. Especially as you get older, the skin around your eyes gets thinner, and it's a really great idea to kind of color correct, especially if you're not going to be wearing a ton of shadows. Just getting rid of any of that blue and purple makes you look a lot healthier and more vibrant. So now we're going to color correct underneath the eyes with the Bobbi Brown Bisque Corrector, and just doing really, really thin layers. When you are color matching for a corrector, you want it to really knock out any of that blue or purple that's underneath the eye, no matter what your skin tone is. If you have a medium to medium dark skin tone, I would start with peach, especially if you have pretty significant under eye circles. Peach kind of looks a little scary because it almost looks orange, but orange does a fabulous job of knocking out that purple. So don't be afraid of it. And if you are on the fairer side, I would definitely start with Bisque and just see kind of where that takes you. And now they have things like dark peach and dark bisque, so everyone is covered no matter what your skin tone. So now let's kind of get into the eyes, because even though I'm using very neutral eyeshadows, I want to make sure that there's not a ton of fallout. So I'm just going to leave the complexion for a little bit later. I'm going to let things set, but I am going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Rockin' Kohl. And just tightlining the eyes. Again, pulling really, really gently. Just kind of flipping that upper lid up so that I can really get in there, really close to that lash line. And it just makes a big difference. Even if you decide not to do liner, just tightlining makes a huge difference in, again, looking more youthful, looking more energetic, and more awake, of course, because we've created more of that contrast between the lash line and the whites of your eyes. So let's get into the eyeshadows. So I'm going to start off with using my bronzer as kind of my first color with a 201. So I'm just swirling my 201 from BK Beauty around, and then I'm going to just kind of start building up a little bit of a wash of color. Starting from the outside, using all aspects of the brush. This is a very fluffy, tapered brush. So the fluffier your brush, the more diffused or the softer your eyeshadows will be. The denser your brush, the more pigment laydown you're going to get. And again, it just depends on what part of the brush you're using. So the side of the brush is going to be fluffier. The tip of the brush is going to give you a little bit more of that control, a little bit more of that precision. And just going in with like 2 coats, because the nice thing about a bronzer is that it's so skin tone friendly that you don't really have to worry about think about it too much, which is great, especially for the first color. So now I'm going to take my 217 and I'm going to mix the colors Cork and Charcoal Brown together on the tip of my brush. And we're just going to amp that up a little bit. just on that outer third, because we have a very special day coming up, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everyone, however you choose to celebrate it. So there will probably be some pictures, so we need to be camera ready. And even if you don't wear makeup, it's nice to wear maybe just a little bit extra on special days where you know you're going to get your picture taken, so that when you look back you think, oh, what a fabulous day that was, and how fabulous I look. The way that our world is moving, it is starting to feel like if you don't take a picture, did it happen? Even if you choose not to share that picture, it is definitely starting to feel like that. So now I'm going in with a 203, and I'm going to go in with Brule on the side of the brush, and I'm just going to lighten up that inner, kind of that inner half, or the inner 2/3. Brule is a warmer version of vanilla. So again, it works really well with the warmer colors like Cork. Cork is a fun one because it's kind of that in between. It's not really cool, it's not really warm, but it definitely plays nicely with warmer browns. And even though, again, charcoal brown isn't super warm, like uninterrupted, it just adds a little bit of natural depth to the skin, to your eye area, that a warmer shadow can sometimes be like, I'm wearing eyeshadow, whereas this is looking just a little bit more natural, like maybe I woke up like this. I'm going to take my 201 and just kind of blend a little bit. I do have a line from sleeping, which, you know, happens as you get older, just how it is. So now we're going to go in with our liner, and because we are probably going to get our picture taken, I am going to go in with a little bit of a black liner from STILA, the Intense Black, and then I'll also mix in a little bit of my Chocolate Shimmer gel liner, just so it's not too harsh, because I'm not wearing black anywhere else, but I want to make sure that you can see my eyes in photos. The other liquid liner that I have is black, or the other liquid liner that I have is gray, and I didn't want to do gray with this look. So we'll go black, and then we'll kind of put a little bit of chocolate shimmer on top. Following that lower lash line. And then bringing it back in. Just doing a little kitten wing. And going about halfway across the lid. And then stopping so that we can go in with our chocolate shimmer. Alright, before we go into chocolate shimmer, because I am going to use the same brush, I'm going to do my brows first so I can get that powder on and not put chocolate shimmer in my brows. So I'm starting halfway, anywhere where I see gaps, and pulling that through. I still have, as you can see, quite a bit of skincare oil peeking through, so my brows are a little bit oily. It just happens. I don't put oil in my brows, but as your body heat moves the product around, sometimes you can get a little bit in the brows, and that's totally okay. Unless you start having like an adverse reaction to something, it's totally fine. And then just working my way backwards towards the front of the brow. And again, you know, if you're on the lighter side with your hair color, you might want to go just a smidge darker on a picture day, because it will make a difference in the pictures. Just don't go too dark so that you feel like Groucho Marx or something like that. Okay, I've just wiped off the excess powder from my brush, and now I'm going to go in with chocolate shimmer from Bobbi Brown, finish my eyeliner, Would this be easier with two brushes? It wouldn't be easier, it would just be different. Okay, and then doing the same thing on the other side. Awesome. A little bit of a Bridget Bardot look, if you will. Okay, I think we will end up amping up that eyeshadow just a smidge, but first I want to do the complexion. Sometimes makeup is about putting something down and then doing something else and reassessing what we need. We might decide after the complexion gets on that we want to amp up the eyes just a little bit more, especially because, again, we are going to be taking pictures with our loved ones, or maybe you're working and you just want to look a little extra special for your clients today. Now we're going to go in with foundation. We just did concealer, and again, because we are probably going to take pictures, I'm going to use my 55 from Sephora collection rather than my Duo Fiber. If we were like going to the beach, then I would do the Duo Fiber. But we're probably going out to breakfast or lunch or dinner. Again, however you choose to celebrate. So I want just a little bit more coverage. And then just bouncing my brush, make sure everything's nice and blended, taking the excess from my hand and bringing it down the neck, because our cameras are so good. Now they see things that the human eye cannot see. So you just want to pull it down just a little bit, but not so much that when you give your loved ones a hug, you leave a lot of makeup on them. Nobody wants that. Okay, now we're going to go with powder, and we're just going to do it quickly. So I'm going to use my big brush, my powder blush brush. But I am going to focus on the center of the face because I'm not oily. But I do have a lot of oils from skincare peeking through. So I just want to make sure that those are kind of mattified. Nobody wants a shiny forehead in a photo. Alright, now we are going to go in with blush, and we're going to do Sweet Enough from MAC, Mineralize. Same brush. And again, you know, we spent our time on the eyes, so now we're just quickly getting things done. Because even though it's Mother's Day, we still have things to do, right? And we'll do a little highlight. Actually, no, I'm going to do my bronzer first before I do my highlight. So BK Beauty bronzer brush, NATASHA DENONA bronzer. Kind of saturating my brush and then tapping off any excess. Again, doing this quickly so that we can join in the festivities for the day. And because it is May, I always feel like you can go a little bit extra on the bronzer. Because it's almost summer, right? Right? Alright, maybe just a smidge more so I can be a little bit more bronzy. Okay, I'm showing a little bit more skin down here, so gotta make sure everything blends in. Alright, now we will do our highlights, because this is an indulgence and it is just for us. And that feels really nice, doesn't it? Okay, going back in with the Duo Fiber and just kind of working that way, not too far in because I don't want to have a sweaty cheek look. Alright, I am going to go back in with the 217 and mix my two shadows, Cork and Charcoal Brown, and just go back in really lightly. I always like to finish my shadows before I do my mascara. So if I'm not sure if I want to amp something up, then I don't do my mascara yet. And I'm going to pull that down on the lower lash line just a little bit. Again, I have a bit of a lower lid, so that makes sense for me. If you don't have that little pop that happens, forget about it. Don't do it. Let's do a little lip gloss. This is Go Lightly from Lisa Eldridge, of course. And then we will finish off with the eyes, going with the Maximizer from DIOR. Again, making sure that you can see the white of the primer, but not so much that it becomes like Ice Queen lashes. I don't think you need to take it that far in order to get the benefits of this product. Okay. Going in with Smoky Lash from Bobbi Brown, and then we are all done. Starting at the roots, wiggling up, and turning my brush as I'm pulling up. Dipping back in, because I want to make sure the other eye gets just as much mascara. Initial coat, and then really wiggling and pulling through. Almost that false lash look. Okay. Closing that up, zhuzhing the hair a smidge, and we are done. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you have a fabulous Mother's Day, however you choose to celebrate. And this look is not just for moms, it is a great spring, summer look. Anytime you just want to kind of amp up your everyday look just a little bit, or get ready for pictures. This one is also a great one for pictures. So I do fashion videos every Wednesday, beauty videos every Friday, and on Mondays, very specific things, dealing with things to make your life a little bit easier and a little bit more glossy. So hit that subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!